you had nothing to do with your husband's death?
No.
This is Latoya Woodard. Just hours ago, Latoya brutally took the life of her own husband. Now she pretends to be the victim.
I didn't know if he was breathing or anything. I was just trying to hold him. And he said, oh my God, help me, help me.
But very soon, detectives will realize that Latoya is no mourning widow. She is a cold-blooded killer.
What happened to it? Somebody knows.
Honest to God, I feel for you. You're a sad individual.
It was 10:17 p.m. on April 13th, 2018, when Volusia County Sheriff's Office received a chilling call. Latoya had come downstairs in the Deltona, Florida home she shared with her husband, Edwin, their 2 children, and a roommate, Crystal, to discover a horrific scene. Her husband lay dead in the foyer, surrounded by a sea of red. He was just 35. If you asked anyone about Edwin Sinclair Daniels, there's one fact they'll probably lead with, that he was a phenomenal and dedicated father. Latoya had been with him for 11 years, and it looked at first as if his death had completely broken her. She was rushed to the hospital, and shortly after being cleared to go to the station, was brought in for questioning. The following footage was provided to our team by the Volusia County Sheriff's Office via FOIA request. Before the interrogation even begins, Latoya runs into a bit of a problem. Police have to take photographs of her because she was at the scene of the crime. Sure, she has a story ready to go in her mind, but the marks on her body tell a very different one.
Okay. Do you have any injuries on you? You know, looks like you got a little bit of a scrape on your left, on the outside.
I was sitting on the ground outside.
Okay. All right. If you could just use your hands to balance yourself, but I still have to look at the bottom of your feet. Yeah, looks like you got a little bit of blood on there.
They were wiping it off at the hospital.
They were wiping it off? Okay.
It was on my knees.
Okay. I think the easiest way to do that, because I got to swab your foot a little bit there, if you wouldn't mind, just put your knee up on here, and then that way you can make it easier for you to keep your balance and keep your foot up.
Do you want the other foot too?
Do what?
You want the other foot too?
Yes, but I got to do one at a time.
A good call to prevent Latoya from ending up in the hospital again, because if she could fall off the chair and look like a victim, you better believe she would. After noticing several scratches and spots of blood on her body, detectives send the swabs for testing and collect her clothes, leaving her with scrubs and a blanket, which she quickly uses to make herself look as innocent as possible.
Are you holding okay? Considering? Yeah, no, I understand. I'm sure it's been a long day, a long morning. We want to talk with you a little bit about, what you saw, what you may have heard, what took place there. Before we do, I want to read your rights, all right? Okay.
If you're watching this, chances are you've seen Miranda rights be read a time or two. Latoya tearfully agrees and signs, speaking both without an attorney and, as you'll soon see, without any acting training.
How many years have we been together?
11 years.
11 years.
11 years.
11 years. All right. Where'd y'all meet?
I've known since middle school.
Y'all went to middle school together? Y'all grew up around here?
In
Deltona.
We went to the same church.
So it was like meant to be, huh?
Something like that.
Yeah. So y'all married? How long y'all been married?
We have since 2016.
2016. With what month?
May.
May. All right. So, a couple of years now. Yeah. Okay. 2. Okay. All right. I guess those were the children that were home tonight. Okay. All right. Very good. How's y'all's relationship, Danielle? Been okay? Or?
I mean, like normal stuff. We fight.
Yeah.
We argue. Then the next day we love each other.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it's like nobody's perfect. Everybody
I know that.
he gets on my nerves. And then if he's not there, I get upset. I'm like, where are you?
Yeah.
Stupid stuff.
Yeah. I know that. I think every couple goes through stuff like that. Yeah. But for the most part, things been fairly good with y'all.
Yeah, it's been alright. Like, not great, but just alright.
What's been going on?
You know, just being, frustrated with, the kids and me working again. I just started working, so it's like me working at 5 in the morning until, 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Like, it's just been stressful.
Yeah.
So, of course, we've been kind of like nagging each other, but it's not like,
right.
I hate your guts nagging. It's just like,
kind of getting on each other's nerves. Yeah. Yeah. I understand that. Where are you working?
I work at Subway.
Subway? Well, I guess tell me a little bit about, yesterday. How'd your day start off? Did you work yesterday?
Yeah. I got up. It was like 4:30 in the morning. And I got dressed. I told him I'd see him later. He just did his own thing that he does.
Was he sleeping?
Yeah, he was knocked out.
Yeah.
So he has to take the kids to school at 6. So, I didn't want to wake him all the way up.
Sure.
And then we talked throughout the day, because we always talk, like he'll call me or I'll call him when I'm on break and stuff. Mm-hmm. So we did that, just, past time. And then I was just so tired. When I got home, he was like, do you want something to eat? And I was at first I said, no, I don't want nothing to eat, And then I was like, no, bring me some McDonald's. I want to make double and I don't know what else I said. But, and he said, okay, cool. And usually when he brings food, he always just brings it up and wakes me up because he knows I'm just going to be knocked out and, as he calls it, gargling peanut butter. And I just assumed that's what he was going to do, so I just laid down and I went to sleep. Mm-hmm. And he called, and he said, oh, I'm going to leave soon. I'll wake you up when I get there. And I said, okay, cool. And I just lay down, went back to sleep, tired, Mm-hmm. The girls, they went to bed. I went to bed. I was just like, I'm really, really tired. I got up because I thought I heard the door close. And then I laid that down because I said, oh, he'll come upstairs. And I just went back to sleep. And then I don't know how long passed, but I kind of sat up. And I was like, oh, he's not up here yet. So I figured maybe, because sometimes he falls asleep downstairs from watching TV. And then he complains that his back hurts from falling asleep. So I was going to go downstairs and yell at him. And tell him how stupid he was for falling asleep on the couch because it hurts your back and you're going to fall asleep on it in the hallway.
He came downstairs and saw him in the hallway.
Because I thought he would be on the couch and then I was like, oh, and he was in the hallway. And I couldn't see. I was like, I thought he fell. And I turned on the light. And he was still there. He was looking at me. He was And that's right. Oh my God. And I just said, oh, that. And he said, oh my God, help me, help me. I didn't know what to do.
Latoya has surprisingly delivered a fairly succinct timeline of events, but it doesn't matter how clear your timeline looks when someone else is contradicting you. In this case, her own roommate and friend of over a decade, Crystal.
When you found it, do you remember what he was wearing? Yeah, specific work shirts. Or like button-up shirts or...
No, they got new shirts. They just pull over there like t-shirts. Now they used to wear suits and ties and stuff. And they gave me cool little t-shirts that they just throw on and go now.
Mm-hmm. T-shirt. Does he wear jeans or pants or...
She wears jeans.
Mm-hmm.
They wear jeans. So.
Is that what he had on when you found him? His work clothes? Okay.
Because he doesn't go to the gym on weekends. I'm not sure.
So he's wearing his work t-shirt and his jeans and then does he wear shoes or tennis shoes or boots or... Did he have shoes on when he found them?
I don't know.
Okay. Okay.
Do you have any opinions?
Did you see McDonald's?
He was on the floor.
Live right by him?
Scattered on the floor.
Now the clothes that you were wearing when you came in to talk with us earlier, were those the clothes you were wearing when you went downstairs? And the socks you had, they gave you those at the hospital?
I didn't have any socks on. I was barefoot because I wear socks in my house. It's just, we walk around.
Yeah, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So you came downstairs barefoot wearing those clothes and you found them?
And I tried, and then I was panicking and I was shaking and I was just. I thought I could stop it. I just.
Where do you see it on his face at?
And it is because he. Just tried to. I didn't know where it was coming from. I thought maybe that
The cure?
it was a thing, but and then I couldn't see because and it was just all so much. Oh my God.
Then you didn't see like any like objects on the ground, like you could have caused that.
It's just that he, I don't know, stuff he had in his hand.
Or nothing that would have caused that kind of injury to his face. What did it look like to you happened to his face?
It was gashed open, like it gashes in his face, and I didn't. And his shirt ripped, and it just red. Just gash.
Did you tell anybody what happened to him? Did it look like he was struck with an object? Or did it look like he was shot? Like he was stabbed? Could you tell, like, looking at his injuries?
Gash. And ripped. That's all I saw.
Edwin was not just stabbed, he had been destroyed. The rage of his killer was visible on his body, where he had suffered 34 stab wounds from head to toe. Police had a pretty good idea what the weapon was before they even left the house. In the sink, just a few feet from his body, and oddly beneath a Chuck E. Cheese plate, they discovered a cheese knife. It had been washed, but later tests during Edwin's autopsy came to the conclusion they were all expecting. It was the murder weapon.
Were you standing over him, or were you sitting with him, or kneeling?
I got down on my knees to try and I was so scared. My heart was pounding, and I just I freaking wet myself, so I was just, I didn't know. I just held him, and then he said, "Help me." Because it was cold. So I didn't know how to help him. I didn't know. The air was coming. I don't know where it was coming.
Do you remember how long you were there with him before your roommate came over from you?
I was just there to help me out. Help me. And he just said, what? That's all I heard. And I said, oh, help me, somebody. And I think she called out, and I didn't. I didn't hear it. And the dog didn't bark. I didn't hear it. And he has the gun, and he didn't even use it. Like, he has it.
Like, carried it over?
Yes, he has concealed weapon person. He has it. Like, I don't understand. He was just there. It isn't.
Okay. What time, do you remember what time you got off work?
I got off work at, I got off work at 1 from my location in State Road 46, and then I went and worked for a little bit at someone in Reinhardt.
So you worked at 2 of them?
Yeah, well, they needed an extra person for a little while.
What time did you leave Reinhardt?
I think it was was like 1:30ish.
Okay, so it wasn't very long.
No, because they just needed somebody to cover, and I'd been there since like 5:30, and I was just really, really tired. And I was just like freaking exhausted.
Yeah.
Because Monday through Friday, I would work 5:30 a.m. till, and by Friday, I'm so.
Sort of catches up with you. So you left at around 1:30, and did you go straight home?
No, I went to McDonald's and I ate. Then I went home. Because I was tired, and my best friend said she would pick up the girls from school for me. So when they got home, I was just, just laying down. They went to watch the TV shows because they know how to use DVR and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta let them do their thing because it's Friday and we're supposed to all go to a birthday party Saturday. And so I was just kind of letting them
Letting the kids
hang out. And then when their bedtime hit, I just said, I'm going to bed. You guys don't have to go to sleep, but you have to lay down. Okay. So.
What time's bedtime?
Bedtime is 8 o'clock.
Okay.
So they lay down. I lay down. And I just went to sleep. Because they're, they usually put themselves to sleep at 8 o'clock. It's like routine for them. It's like every day. If they're not in bed by 8 o'clock, they fall asleep where they are.
Well, yeah, they're pretty young, aren't they? How old are they?
9, 7.
9, so yeah. So 8 o'clock's a good time. So they normally put themselves to bed and not much fuss.
No, they just go. Yeah. Like, they'll have their little iPads and they'll go to bed. And I was like, he called me. He said, I'm going to leave in a few minutes because he told me he got off at 8 o'clock. So I figured, the girls will be sleeping and he'll wake me up and we'll, watch a movie or something.
So what time he called you, about 8, or he called you before?
It was like 7:45 or something like that. 7:45. And he said, I'm going to leave in a few minutes. I'm almost off. Mm-hmm. And I just said, just wake me up when you get here. It's like, that's our normal routine. Like, we shouldn't, but we eat in the bed. So.
There's worse things. No. So he called you around 7:45 and said he was going to grab some McDonald's, and you asked him to grab you what you said, McDouble?
I think, McDouble and something else. I don't even know.
Yeah. Do you know if the kids went to bed at 8 or?
They usually do. I don't even really worry about it anymore because it's clockwork. I lay down, they lay down. Sometimes if they're not sleepy, they'll come in there and lay in bed with me. I don't care.
Did they come into bed with you?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you went upstairs and I guess, went to sleep or took a nap. And do you know how long you were asleep?
I honestly don't even know what time it is right now. I laid down and then I popped up because I was like, I've been asleep too long. Mm-hmm. And I was like, he fell asleep on the couch, This is literally like the routine for us. He falls asleep on the couch. I go make him go to bed. Mm-hmm. I don't understand.
Latoya's not alone on this one, because there are a few things the detectives don't understand either. Firstly, the fact that Latoya drove across town to work less than 30 minutes of a shift for someone at a different Subway store piques detectives' interest. That someone will prove to be an important part of the case, one that will take their suspect from housewife to house wrecker and give her a motive that's as twisted as she is.
Who all lives in the house? It's you, your 2 children, Ed, and I heard you say best friend earlier. Is that your roommate, Crystal? Mm-hmm. Okay. Does anybody else live in the house? No. Okay. And was Crystal home when you came home from work?
She was home when, no, she wasn't home when I got home. She brought the girls home. And then they watched TV for a little bit. And then I know she left and went to the store somewhere. Like, she goes to do her grocery shopping and stuff like that.
She does her own groceries.
Yeah,
separate
because she
from you
has her own separate fridge
Oh, okay.
and stuff, so she does her own stuff, and she only has like 1 or 2, days off a week, and
Okay. Do you know what time you were still awake when Crystal left?
I was laying down when she left. My daughter told me she left.
Okay. So it was,
Because they peek out the blinds and they're like, "Oh, Crystal's gone," and I'm like, "Oh, okay."
so Crystal, it's not like Crystal checks in. It's a day I'm
She's
leaving.
like a ninja. She just. And sometimes she'll walk in and we don't even know she's in the house. She just walks straight up the stairs.
Yeah. Okay. How's she get in? She got a key to the house, or? Okay. All right. Now normally, I assume you're like every other house in Deltona. You keep your doors locked and windows locked, and I haven't seen your house. You got a garage?
Yes.
Okay. All right. You got garage door opener, or is it manual?
It's the garage door.
Okay. So does Crystal drive?
Yes.
Okay. And you drive, and your husband drives. So you got 3 cars?
Yes.
Okay. Does everybody have a garage door opener too, or?
No.
Okay.
Just me and them, because she doesn't park in the garage.
Okay. All right. And then everybody's got a key to the house, obviously. Okay. All right. Now, do you normally, when you come home, you normally lock the doors behind you, or
Well,
before you go to bed?
someone usually locks everything because he has to let the dogs out at night.
Sorry, you said you have dogs. What kind of dog you got?
1 pit bull and 1 pit bull German Shepherd mix.
Oh, wow. It's a good size dogs. Okay. Very protective, I'm sure. Okay. All right. So pit bull and pit bull German Shepherd. Okay. So Edwin locks up the house when he comes home after he takes the dog out?
Yeah, because, the back door, like, we don't lock it necessarily because it's like, nobody, like, when people walk up to our house, they see me wear the dogs and then they walk away.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
so people know not to.
Yeah, we have freaking big dogs. Like, they're huge. And
They're loud.
I got a fenced-in backyard. Seems like the dogs have to use the bathroom. It's good. It's good. So while you're sleeping, you said the dogs didn't make any noise, wake you up or anything like that?
I didn't hear anything. I didn't hear the dogs. I thought I heard the door slam, and that was it. And I was like, oh, he'll come upstairs. So I just laid back down and just drifted.
So you hear the garage door, you thought, he would be up soon. And you laid there and waited on him. When you fell back asleep for a little bit.
I was so just tired. Like, it just weighs on you. And then by Friday, I don't know. I'm so tired.
So when you woke up and he wasn't there, you went to go check on him downstairs. And I'm not sure I don't know how your house is, but if you go down the stairs, I'm not sure where your stairs are, but where did you go?
The stairs are in front of the house where the front door is, and you have to go down the stairs and go down the stairs and down the hallway and around the corner. And then you have the kitchen and the living room. And then it was dark as hell. So I'm walking and I'm looking for the switch. Mm-hmm. And I see something on the floor. And I turn on the light switch and it's bug balls and
You saying there's blood on the walls?
black walls and covered in I didn't know where it was coming from, so I tried to
Like,
I didn't know. I just tried to hold him. And I didn't know if he was breathing or anything. I was just trying to hold him.
Latoya must have studied Titanic for this performance, trying to play the part of a woman that just couldn't bear to let her lover go. Well, you know, until she does. While Latoya claims to have been hugging Edwin until the cops arrived, the blood spatter on her shirt that detectives have already taken into evidence tells a very different story. If she really was just cradling her husband, she would have what is called transfer stains on her shirt, when someone directly touches blood. However, all of the stains on her shirt and pants were impact stains, which you can only receive if you are within feet of someone at the exact time they receive an impact wound. In other words, her stains tell detectives that she was with her husband when he was stabbed.
what do you think happened to him? He had cuts on his face.
Wait, gosh, was on his face. Wait. Oh. It was open. His face was open, and I didn't know where the blood was coming from.
Did you see any other injuries to him?
He was just covered in it. Covered in it. And I just could see his face, and I couldn't stop looking at his face, and I was like, oh my God. It was so much everywhere. I don't know where it was coming from.
You could see it coming. You could see some on his face.
No way.
Was there any injuries anywhere else? His chest?
I don't know.
Is there anything on the ground by him or anything here?
All the coats and jackets were knocked off the racks on the floor. My kids' jackets covered in blood.
So it looked like there was a struggle or something right there.
Edwin would not fight. He even been through too much not to fight. He used to weigh 400 pounds and he lost all that weight and he was being healthy for his family.
You say he has a concealed weapon. Did he have it on him?
He always carried it on him. I don't understand. I would have heard that. I don't understand.
So he normally carries a gun with him, and he said it looked like the coats were knocked down and stuff in the hallway there. And there was lots of blood. He had injuries to his face.
What is he? I saw blood.
Okay. But you didn't.
I couldn't. I just touched him to see if he was like something. And I thought he was.
Did you hear any fighting or anything downstairs? Or
Anything.
nothing.
If he comes in, usually dogs start barking or something because they want to be let out again. Like something, some type of noise. All I heard was the door.
No dogs.
No dogs.
Did the two of y'all have problems with each other? I mean, I know there's the normal bickering, husbands and wives do. I think we've all been there.
We fought a couple times, like loud fighting. And it's just like the stress of 10 years coming down on us.
Mm-hmm.
And And then it was mostly me, you know, when I first started the new job, it was like really hard for him because he's used to me being home all day long. And now I'm working again and I'm not there. And he's like, we're polar opposites. He's a neat freak and I'm more of a, you know, it lays where it lays kind of person. And that's basically what we started over. That was like the bane of our, you know, relationship right there. The fact that he just wanted everything to be in its little, you know, place. And I was just like, you know, live and let live. But
don't sweat the small stuff.
yeah, because I mean, it's just a shirt or it's just a spoon.
Right.
You know, it's so stupid.
Yeah. Often y'all argue over stuff like that.
We let it build up for a while, and then it'd blow under, and it'd be like nothing happened. Like that's how we were. And then eventually, like every couple of months, we get into a big spat, and then we're good again. But I mean, I felt like we didn't fight more than other people. We just fought louder than other people. I used to leave crap around the house on purpose.
Just to push a button.
Other than that stuff, did you have any other issues?
Stuff people fight over. I thought we were normal.
Yeah. I mean, you guys, when y'all were fighting, you ever get physical? Yeah.
Yeah. He actually got arrested a while back for it. And then we talked about it and we were like, you know, you need counseling. Because he had some issues from like way back in the day. And that had nothing to do with me. And he said he was going to do it.
Did counseling?
Did you get it?
But he said it to make me happy. He said it, you know.
When did this all take place? A couple weeks ago or a couple months ago?
A couple months ago.
So sometime this year?
Yeah, it was this year.
Okay.
And then 10 years ago, like that was the last time they got physical between us, like when we first got together.
10 years ago?
Yeah, that was the last time. So it took a while for the build up to happen.
Yeah. What was the argument over when you got physical with you?
You mean the last one?
Yeah.
Dishes in the sink. It was like, he wants you to do things when he wants you to do them. He's that type of guy. And I will purposely not do them just to make him mad because I'm just like, you gotta learn to live with the hippie.
So what it is? You're more of a free spirit?
Her spirit may be free, but she's not going to be for long. In our research, we couldn't find a single arrest record for Edwin to confirm Latoya's claims, but you'll hear her explain the alleged incident in her own words soon. However, we did find some things about Latoya that don't exactly paint her as the innocent martyr she'd like cops to think she is. She worked in the Navy for several years until she was dishonorably discharged for desertion. At the time of her arrest, she had already lost custody of 3 of her 5 children and was only allowed supervised visitation with them. In her mind, however, it was her husband who needed counseling, not her.
How often do they tell you he's going to get counseling?
Every time I ask, she says, yeah, I do it. I'll do it.
So if you were having to ask this, about the counseling and stuff, was it pretty frequent that you would lose his temper or get upset and to the point that made you ask for this?
Like, if he ever got mad, it wasn't like him being like mad for forever. Like, he's the type of person, he's mad for a little bit and then it goes away. He was never mad.
I was just thinking, yeah, for you to ask him to go to counseling for his temper, that it would be something that he would have to pop up, frequently enough that you thought he needed to go. Or was it just like
Well, I thought he needed to go because it's just like sometimes stuff turns into a bigger argument than it needs to because you're angry for no reason. And I wanted to, have happy days, not angry days. And it's like, I didn't really blame him for being angry because it's like, childhood is rough.
Mm-hmm. So it's kind of
And I'm not, an angel and be like, oh yeah, I was all sunshine and roses. I just kind of like, I want him to be happier. I want him to see that, you don't have to walk around grumpy all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think he was like that? I mean,
that's just his natural self. He's so cynical and just like, you never saw the good in anything. You'd be like, oh, it's raining gumdrops. You'd be like, yeah, one of them's going to hit somebody in the eye and then there's a line. It's like you find the bad and everything, you can count on it. And it was like, it was funny.
So he never went and got counseling? Did y'all ever go to a counselor together or anything?
would that have been the only issues that you guys might need counseling about?
Mm-hmm.
When's the last time you guys got into an argument?
It's been a couple of days.
What was
And it was mostly just me being tired and snapping on him for nothing. And then having to come home and apologize and saying, I'm just really tired from work. Because he really did just ask me a simple question and I snapped. And I was like, I'm tired and I'm working and I should have been nicer.
Sometimes it happens, you get tired and that's what happens, you snap.
At this point, police are certain that Latoya snapped, especially when she divulges more information about the previous run-ins with the law that the couple had.
Did you ever, when these arguments would get heated, were the police ever involved or did y'all handle it yourselves?
Only the 2 times.
The 2 times? Oh, the one 10 years ago and then the one a few months ago. How about for yourself? Have you ever been in trouble for getting in a fight with him? You said he was arrested.
So that was, I was 10 years ago.
Oh, you were 10 years ago. Okay, but he was 10 years ago.
No, I was 10 years ago and then he was a couple months ago.
Okay. So a couple months ago when he got arrested, tell me what happened then. What did he get arrested for? Was it for shoving you or?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, he has this insecurity that I'm going to leave him all the time. So he took the keys to the car and wouldn't let me leave. And I think that's what he got arrested for because he wouldn't let me leave and I was trying to leave.
Okay.
I was just trying to avoid it with him because the best thing to do is walk away.
Sure.
And he did not want me to leave at all. So he took all the keys to, every car, and he wouldn't let me leave, and then he kept arguing with me.
Mm-hmm.
To the point to where, the cops got called.
You called the cops?
No. I don't remember if he called the cops, honestly.
The kids ever call, or maybe Crystal, or are you loud enough the neighbors called?
I don't know who called.
Okay. But somehow or another they end up there.
Why do you think you're not leaving? What was you worried about?
He's really insecure sometimes.
Have you ever left him before?
No.
Okay. this is something he just kind of developed.
And just kind of, I used to tell him, you have to be better because people don't stay together because they have kids. They stay together because they love each other. And I said, you have to be better in order for, us to stay together. And I was telling him that. I used to say that to him all the time, but he took it as, oh, get your shit together or I'm leave. And I'm like, I'm not going to leave. We have a freaking mortgage and 2 kids and all this crap. And
Was there not trust there? Was there not trust there?
it was just insecurity because he's had one that, like, he had a girlfriend that one day she just up and left while he was at work and took everything. So he's been really like,
from work.
Yeah, he went to work and then his ex-girlfriend just left and took everything out of the apartment. So he has a lot of abandonment things going on. And
And have you ever threatened to leave?
of course, what woman hasn't threatened to leave? That's like a normal thing. But he didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
Like, we're all bark. We're all bark. At the end of the day, we're going to lay down in the same bed and we're going to watch the same stupid DVR things that we always watch that we say suck.
Yeah.
And then,
How about him? Has he ever said he was going to leave? Have you ever felt like he was going to leave? Or has he ever cheated on you or anything? Yeah. That's tough. It's hard to deal with. Is that something recent? Or?
it was a while ago. He owned up to it. We got through it.
Yeah.
He went out of his way to prove that, wanted to try.
Because you said it a while ago. What's a while ago? Is that last year or a few years ago?
Yeah, it was a few years ago. It wasn't really cheating. It was more just texting.
Texting somebody else?
Yeah, texting somebody else. And I asked him about it. And he owned up to it. And, I told him, I said, you have to tell me how you feel. I said, I know that's hard for you. I said, but you got to tell me. I can't fix it if you don't tell me that,
Right.
That's what I tell my daughters. I can't fix it if you don't tell me.
Sure.
We did a lot better after that, too, so surprisingly.
Yeah. I take it he stopped texting. Yeah. How about yourself? You ever step out?
Yeah. It's not like a texting thing, but it's like,
Kind of the same situation. Yeah. Is that recent or?
it was a while back, but he knew about that. That was more of like, I'm mad at you, so I'm gonna make you jealous, so that you act right.
So was this a coworker you're texting or?
And all this stuff, yeah.
Was it still going on or did you stop and show him you want to make it work?
I thought we were making it work. I thought we were okay.
Were you not?
I thought we were. He would make pancakes he called every day off. He'd make pancakes and then he'd make the eggs just go in. I think I hate burning eggs.
Are you still texting somebody?
I don't think so.
You've not seen anybody?
I don't think so.
I asked you
The last girl, she was married and yeah, you don't want that.
you said you thought y'all were fine. That's what I was asking.
Because I don't see, like, everything's so good and kids are happy, I'm happy. We did the Easter egg hunt. We made Easter eggs. We did all that stuff and everything. We went to a birthday party on Saturday. He was gonna get up early, but then we wanted to go all together. And then we started doing date night on Tuesdays.
Latoya frequently references in her 3-hour-long interrogation that Edwin had cheated on her. Again, we found no evidence or statements aside from her own to confirm this, but she does seem to enjoy being the wounded spouse. In reality, she's the one doing the wounding. Soon after this interrogation, law enforcement was contacted by a friend of Latoya's, who disclosed to police that Latoya was having an affair. That man, of course, worked at the store that Latoya worked a less than 30-minute shift on the day of her husband's murder. Weird coincidence, right? At this point, police don't have that vital piece of information, so instead of talking about the distant past, they're eager to hear more info about last night, because as of now, the info they do have isn't exactly lining up.
When you came down, were all the doors closed? Because was he by the front door? Is that near the front door?
The garage is in the back of the house. And then I came down and I pushed the front door because I was like, well, put the front door open. And I thought maybe he had gone back outside for something. But I looked and I just said, okay, close the door. And then I walked around. And you can't see him until you walk all the way in. It's just red on the floor.
So the front door was open to the outside?
Like how open?
It was a little bit open. You just barely push it and then it's closed. And then I'm looking around downstairs and I'm like, shit's just wrong. But I'm thinking, oh, maybe, because sometimes he moves stuff. He rearranges. That's his thing because he wants stuff where he wants stuff.
What was wrong?
Like, we have like stuff was just open. Like I was like when you go to play video games and stuff, like stuff was open. And I was like, they just like video games, they're not down here.
Like covers of your games?
We have these glass shelving things and they were just open. And I was like, that's weird. My wallet that was on the table was on the floor. Like just like little stuff where I was like, the hell?
Did you close all those things after, or did you see them?
I just left them because I saw him.
Do you think it went missing?
I don't know.
Okay.
I didn't look. He has phones, and I didn't even look. He has 2 phones.
2 phones? I take it they're both Verizon. What are they?
Does the front door have a problem closing, or?
No.
Okay.
It closes.
Absolutely nothing was stolen from the house. In fact, beside Edwin's body, police found his wallet still visibly full of cash. It had been lying open on the floor for anyone to see, and yet the killer didn't touch it. Because obviously, this wasn't about theft. Finally, police asked the questions that's on all of our minds.
I just don't have. I don't understand. But he's so strong.
Let me ask you this. When you two get in a fight or an argument, would he fight back against you?
No. Like we fought like normal people fight. I mean, maybe a little bit louder, like I said, but it was normal people, fight. He's so strong. He worked out like he was.
Like you said, he goes to the gym, but not on the weekends.
Not on the weekends. So he goes to the gym Monday through Thursday. And he was so proud of his little muscle in his arm. He showed me. He was just like, yeah, look at that. It's a vein in my arm. And I was like, oh, it's a little vein. He was so proud of it. I was going to yell at him for going to bed and sleeping on the couch.
Latoya, was there something that happened between the two of you all night? No, you getting in an argument?
No, they were a good day. I mean, I was irritated at work, but that's always, because I mean, who wants to get up at, 4:30 in the morning and go to work?
Sure, makes for a long day. Was he irritated too?
No.
How was he?
He was fine. He just seemed like his normal self. He was like, But we talked about some stuff we had to pay off, and just trying to get there, just trying to make it. And he's so strong. He's so strong. Nobody can take it. I don't even believe that shit. Like, he's so strong.
Well, something happened to him in the house. That looked like it was pretty violent. It looked like there was probably a struggle. Did you guys get into some kind of argument or something tonight? Something happened between y'all?
No. I didn't even see. I talked to him on the phone 15 minutes before he was supposed to get off. I talked to him, and he said we were going to eat and watch TV, like we always do, because I don't work on weekends, and that's our time.
Right. But it seems like, something like this you would have heard. The dogs would have barked. The kids would have woke up. Did he try and put his hands on you tonight or something?
I didn't see him. I saw him in the morning, and the kids saw him in the morning, and everything was cool. Saturday is freaking pancake day. It's like every Saturday is pancake day because everybody's off. Everybody's at home. And you didn't see him.
An argument taking place is something that Latoya vehemently denies for months on end, yet her roommate's 911 call completely contradicted this. When Crystal was speaking to dispatch, she distinctly said that she heard screaming and an argument before she heard Latoya yelling for her. Later, Crystal redacted this statement to try and save her friend, but it's hard to deny what you've stated directly on a 911 call. When Latoya realizes her story isn't fooling detectives, she shuts down, flipping a switch and doing a 180 with her personality that is, honestly, a bit haunting.
Well, something happened in the house. I mean, something violent. You know, I think it was probably loud enough that everybody in the house was probably aware. So, I understand that sometimes, things just happen. Sometimes sometimes you lose control of yourself. You don't mean for things to happen.
No. No matter what happened between me and Edwin, it was still me and him. Mm-mm.
Is there something else going on that would explain some of this?
I didn't hear it. I thought he was home.
Did your kids see what happened?
I came downstairs and he was there.
There's nobody else downstairs.
You didn't see the kids? Did you hear them? Yeah, I've seen pictures. It doesn't look good.
How cool is that?
And those types of injuries are usually what we see, when somebody's got something personal at stake when something like this happens. It looks like a lot of anger.
Mm-hmm.
What happened to him? Well, somebody knows. And for something like that to happen, and the dog's not to bark, kids not to wake up, see or hear anything, you not to wake up and see or hear anything, it seems kind of a stretch.
I don't know what to tell you.
So between y'all getting no fight tonight?
No.
When did you do our...
I saw him this morning. And I said, okay, I'll see you later. And he did this little grunt thing that he always does when I wake him up at, 4:30 in the morning. He don't want to get up.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't nothing that big to fight over. Not like that. Mm-hmm.
You currently seeing anybody else?
No.
Nobody that you might be seeing or have a relationship with would want to do something like
The
this?
last person I was seeing was a woman. And that's cut off.
Mm-hmm. Cut off as a woman.
It's been months.
Did you end it or did she?
I did.
Between April 1st and April 14th, Latoya was in contact with her affair partner 91 times, more than double the amount that she spoke to her own husband. In the texts, she swooned after her new man, calling him her king. And in her mind, they were going to live like a queen and king because she was planning to cash in on the massive life insurance policy her husband had through work, even going so far as to inquire about it just days after he was killed.
So you had nothing to do with your husband's death?
No.
Okay. And you don't know anybody that does? All right. I'm going to step out for a few minutes
Yeah, give me some
and read back a bottle of water or anything.
soda.
Latoya Woodard was taken into custody and charged with second-degree murder 7 months after this initial interrogation. After a careful and thorough investigation, the blood evidence on her shirt, the murder weapon being in her sink, and her motive all gave police more than enough to charge her. Though she was hoping a bond would offer her some respite, the courts had something else in mind.
So, you're here by what's called a grand jury indictment on the charge of second-degree murder. That means probable cause was found, and there was a no bond warrant that was issued by, I believe it was by Judge Zambrano. And so, basically, I'm just notifying you of that.
At trial, Edwin's family was finally given an opportunity to speak to Latoya face to face. Here is his sister and mother, whose devastation speaks for itself.
8 months and 2 days. Honest to God, I feel for you. You're a sad individual.
Don't do that.
8 months. How was your Thanksgiving? And how was your Christmas?
You gotta sit down.
Sit down. Sit down. Sit down.
You have to sit down.
Get her out of here. Take her out. 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 Take her out.
I see you.
But Your Honor, stop.
We know you.
Stop.
But you.
Ultimately, Latoya was sentenced to life in prison for the second-degree murder of Edwin Sinclair Daniels. Though his family will never have him back, they find some comfort in knowing that her freedom is gone.